Hey turtle nerds, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm wearing my friggin' sailor outfit. No, but today I am still kind of sick, so today's video is gonna be kind of relaxed and we're just gonna try to do something more fun today. But first off, I wanna feed all of my turtles in the pond. There's little Mochi, and that is Mr. Beef right there. We got the three girls here, and I'm dealing with a lot of that nasty orange algae again because we're just getting so much sun. So I'm probably gonna end up having to put some shade cloth or something over the pond to prevent the sun from impacting it so much. But for right now, I want to feed these guys. Let me find my nice special mix of food here. Is that Mr. Urkel? There he is. I was worried about him because I haven't seen little Urkel as of recently, but he seems to be okay because he's trying to breed with dragon fruit. That lets me know that everything's just fine. Here, we're gonna toss everyone a little bit of food. Just like that. Bean, you have to look down. Then you'll find the food, you silly. Got some happy koi down there, some happy turtles. I'm gonna take this food and toss it kind of far out for others to go find. All of the ones who like to hide. We've got some spotless ornates that are not currently joining the party, so I throw food for them, so when they decide to come to the surface, they can find the food. Check it out. We're just gonna feed lightly today and just be done because they are starting to get a little bit chunky. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about eggs and the incubation process for terrapins, or turtles just in general. Now, when I went down to Florida, these might look like just a cottage cheese container and a little planter, but there are terrapin eggs in either of these containers. We can even see them. There's one right there. And so how one of my buddies does it, the one who gave me these, is that normally he just leaves these in the patio in partial sun to replicate eggs that would be incubated naturally in the ground. So as we might remember from last year, Bean went up and laid her eggs and those babies incubated naturally. Now those took about 70 days to hatch. She laid them in the end of May and I found them early August. So it was quite a long time. I think it was 10 weeks for those little babies to hatch. If we remember in my incubator, the previous round of eggs that my buddy gave me, these are from the same female, those only took 55 days to hatch. And that's because when babies will start to pip and start to come out, they'll pip and hatch out of the eggs, but they won't come out and up to the surface. So a baby in an egg like that in the wild that's being incubated naturally like this or like this, they're gonna pip, they're gonna come out of the egg, and then they're gonna bury themselves down in the substrate until they absorb their yolk sac. That can take up to 5 days, 7 days, a week, maybe more. I mean, 7 days is a week, but whatever. And then what they'll do is once they're finally ready, even then they might stay down there for a couple more days until they feel rain or they feel ready enough to come to the surface and emerge. As we know, you don't want to rotate reptile eggs, so these suckers are about halfway through. Looks like this ground is getting a little dry. I might want to add some water, but these were laid in, I think, early June? Yeah, these were laid in early June. These were laid in late May, and it's almost early July, which means they're due any day now. Because they're so far in the incubation process, it's, well, I'm still not gonna rotate them much, but it's not as big a deal as if they were like partially into their incubation process, because if you rotate them at that point, then they die in the embryo. But when they're pretty much fully developed, it's usually kind of safe. So for that purpose, I'm gonna be leaving this container here and letting this incubate naturally for a couple more weeks, but this one that can hatch any day, I'm gonna move them into a container and into the incubator. Mr. Cake, how are we looking today, sir? Ooh, we're looking real good. I like that little attitude that he had. Awesome. I can probably get him outside pretty soon. Ah, yes, this is perfect. This is what I was looking for. I was gonna use this to ship out a turtle, but it did not fit. The turtle didn't fit in here. So we're gonna use this for some eggs. So here we've got our container. We're gonna take our thing of vermiculite. Is there a hole in the bottom of this? Oh, nuts. Okay, never mind. First we need to tape this little hole at the bottom of this. Oops. I just used a small amount of duct tape. Got that hole plugged up. Now I wanna take this back here. Can we see? Can we see me? Good. There we go. That should be enough. Not too much. We just want to have enough for a small little indent. Nothing crazy. I mean, I would fill this up more, but we have holes on the side because, like I mentioned, I wanted this to be a shipping container first, and then I decided against that. Okay, so now we need to get some distilled water for this bad boy, and I'm going to mix it all up. Okay, so we have a roughly 1-to-1 ratio of vermiculite is what material this is. You can find it at any basic hardware store. This container's from the dollar store. And we have a 1-to-1 ratio of water to vermiculite. And now we can go dig up our little eggs. And the only reason that we can, okay, well, I'll explain later. Okay, now we've got this right here. And now comes the fun part of digging out these little eggs, which is gonna be really nerve-wracking for me. Okay. Oh, I should probably have a container to put the dirt in. We will begin the delicate process. I'm gonna pull out this dirt, kind of throw it in this planter here. Okay, so we're finally reaching the eggs. Now comes the real fun part, where we have to be extraordinarily gentle. This one looks fungus or mold on it or something, you know? Kind of not liking the way that they look because, well, they're fertile, I'm sure, but the issue is that I don't want to introduce some weird, nasty pathogen things into my incubator. So you know what? We're gonna cover them back up and just let them hatch naturally. That's what we're gonna do. This thing I'll save for another day. I'll cover this back up and I'll explain why a little more. Basically, I just want to keep my incubator, the current eggs that I have, as sterile as humanly possible. And these ones are already dirty. They've got all this dirt and stuff in there. And so, you know, we're gonna pack this down a little bit. You know, these ones are already, well, they've already incubated in the dirt, so they should be fine. I'm gonna throw the rest of this over here. Point being, you know, I'm just gonna put this little lid on to keep the humidity. You know, I can keep an eye on it from the side here. And, you know, I just don't want to introduce any icky nasties into my incubator, and I don't want to go through the trouble of setting up a whole new incubator just for these eggs that are going to hatch any day now. Now, had I actually taken those eggs out and put them in my stupid little DIY incubator here, now I made this thing for $5. I don't know. The heater was the most expensive element. This I got for like $2. And we can check the temperature in here right now. Should be about 86, 85, 83. Okay, good. So that's going to give me a nice mix of sexes. So then all we do is take our container and put it in here. And I've been checking on these eggs every couple of days. We're going to pour the condensation not directly on the eggs. And you can see that there's vermiculite that I got everywhere because when the first round of babies hatched, I sort of made a mess. But anyway, point being that you guys can make something like this. You can make an incubator like this for extraordinarily cheap, and it's extraordinarily effective. These little babies should be hatching out in about 2 weeks, so we're pretty far into the process. You can see how beautiful and white they are. That's how you know that they're fertile. And 24 hours after, this is what the eggs look like. That's called chalking over, basically, where they start to like get a little bubble thing. After about 10 days, they'll get a little blood vessel that you can see if you hold up a flashlight to it. But remember, you do not want to rotate these eggs, or otherwise you will kill the embryo. And the anticipation is totally killing me, so I check on these guys like every stinking day. But I'm gonna cover it back up, and we're gonna close up the incubator to check on it probably in another couple days. But that is it. That is caring for these eggs. It is extraordinarily simple. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go relax, make some soup, and I'll see y'all in the next one.